Like and follow if you love horror. There are two primary categories of UP. While UP are not, in fact, human, many once were, and even those that were not still have pathological behaviors. So the first question you must ask in every case, does the UP behave like it was once human? If not, while alien, the UP will still have identifiable pathology. You expect me to believe that creatures like fairies born from chaos somehow follow a pattern? The noir detective's tone was almost as cliche as her outfit. You're born of chaos. I was born in Ohio, sneered one of the many gremlins attending his seminar. None were as beautiful as Jiro, but each had some otherworldly draw. Are we not all born from chaos? Diana countered, ignoring the gremlin. Genetics, geolocation, socioeconomics, exposure to all manner of things, physical and emotional, that affect and change us as people throughout our lives. She hit the clicker again, moving to a slide with separate archetypes of former human UPs. Incalculable possibilities in the human condition, yet we all follow predictable behaviors. Everything has needs. As strange as the UP's needs are, they are all needs nonetheless. While humans break down into psychological profiles, narcissism, psychosis, dissociative personality, borderline personality, these things fade into the background once they're a UP. I felt it fitting to define classifications of UP like archetypes, often mythological archetypes, not so dissimilar from Narcissus, from which we derive the term narcissist. What is this? Oh. So archetypes are named after needs and behaviors. We do already have to match... God damn it. We already do have names to match behaviors of each UP. The young actress with the perm was at least engaging, even if a little rudely. Skinwalkers, Nosferatu, Luguru, Dryad, She, all with detectable killing styles. Correct. Diana nodded as though for a minute. Diana nodded and thought for a minute. The woman was engaging and she didn't want her to feel stupid of the answer that was about to follow. How UPs kill can tell us what the UP is normally, and how to stop eventually capture the UP. You want to capture a UP? The burly man with the loud shirt, Jameson, asked in earnest. Hold on to that for later questions. Diana quickly shut the man down to focus on the actress with the perm. What that doesn't tell us is how to locate the UP, how to deduce their method for selecting victims, how to understand their motivations and get ahead of them. She hit the clicker again. This time a video played a wooden mannequin appearing in a courtyard of a dusty lot in a park with a Spanish mission. It begins murdering people at a wedding party, quickly, efficiently, and indiscriminately. It also doesn't always tell us the UP is every time. Can anyone here tell me what this creature is? The video drove its point home, then stopped. Let's take a look at modern case files on vampires. She hit the clicker again. In the old days, they wouldn't hesitate ripping the throat out of a Vic and drinking all the blood. The telltale signs were obvious. But vampires aren't mindless beasts. When the game changed, the vampires changed with it. They eat without killing, they eat without leaving marks, they control entire groups of people and act more like mobsters than monsters. Again with the clicker. What about Red Cap? The screen showed multiple homicide scenes, victims torn to pieces. This killer went for 10 straight years before anyone figured out it was a UP. He could move from one shadow to the next like teleportation. Left no prints, no tracks. Before the UPD got wind of it, the FBI just considered these a string of professional hits by a talented assassin. Red Cap assumed a human persona and took jobs as a hitman to fill his craving. He needed to kill, not just kill, brutally murder and dismember the bodies so he could bathe in their blood. When he was brought down, he had 122 white hats soaked in blood. According to reports, Agent Erastus Knock took down Red Cap, discovering a Fae almost completely by accident. The UP had to find out the hard way as usual. Jameson said, almost monotone, like he was reading from a report. Then he snapped out of it. UPs kill until they get sloppy or we get lucky. In Agent Knox's case, it was a bit of both. We follow these profiles, you're telling me we can get smart instead. That's the plan. Diana thought about what she was going to say next, as it could easily lose the respect of the class. I've worked for the UPD now for less than a year, and already 2 of my profiles were critical. I was able to help the Southern Expanse in Houston hunt down and stop 2 of the most unusual UPs our division has ever seen. And I did so with the Inquisitor app, old-fashioned detective work, my profiles, and no magic. Half the class scoffed, the other half chuckled. The plastic man made a weird sort of whimper. As a neutral, I am incapable of using magic beyond Inquisitor, Diana confessed. The class went silent. I can't believe this, the noir detective was first to break the silence. Chicago sent me to take classes from a fucking neutral? Chicago sent you, despite your past accomplishments, because you haven't closed a case in 3 years. Diana stiffened, her dark brown eyes locked with the noir detective's icy blues. You're reportedly an accomplished mage, skilled at monster hunting, but your profile states you've never brought down a single UP with intelligence beyond an animalistic instinct. I've had enough of this. The woman grabbed her coat and proceeded to leave. I'll be sure to file that statement in the report I've been asked to make with your superior. Diana's posture was unflinching. The woman threw her coat back down, then sat. At that point, with the one insubordinate in her place, Diana had the class. Everyone there had vested interest in being there, even the ones who didn't want to be. For hours, her and her students pored over case files, discussing profile determinations and debating the classifications. In all, it was a distinguished success until Ronnie entered the back of the room. Ronnie was wearing his blue blazer and shield, his no-nonsense high and tight freshly trimmed. He pulled down his reflective aviator shades and made a point to lock eyes with Diana, but said nothing. We can break from today, even if a little early, she said to the class. If I'm not back by Wednesday, you'll be joined by my colleague Jira, our technician, who will resume the role of instructor. The class let out, and with Jameson the last through the door, Ronnie approached Diana. We got ourselves another one, he stated flatly. It hasn't been that long since the gin. Diana rubbed her head. How did you spot this one? Actually, Joe Jack made the call. I have to hand it to him. He's come a long way. Ronnie seemed less surly than usual. What are the details? She asked, collecting her things. Branch manager of a bank locked himself in the vault. Strangled to death with his own tie hung from a light cage. Only one box was emptied, still trying to figure out what it was. The receipt just said antique toy, with an estimated value of $1,400. Ronnie elaborated. That's pretty poor bookkeeping. How do we know the Vic didn't lock himself in the vault and hang himself by the tie after losing an expensive antique? Diana knew Ronnie had more information to give, but was willing to let him get there in his usual circuitous way. 12 feet to the light cage, nothing to stand on, no stepladder. Our Vic is not what I'd call athletic type. Then there's this. Ronnie produced his phone and accessed Inquisitor. Footage from the bank's surveillance showed a man, bald, glasses, overweight, early 50s, frantically running from screen to screen. Then, in the same sequence, screen to screen, the footage fizzed out, distorted, then faded back in. You can't see it too clearly, but there's a humanoid figure appear in the white noise of every screen. He punched something into Inquisitor. A light blue aura illuminated on the screen, and the